Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480. It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your commands.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. Whatever your platform you are using at this time, won't you share with some of your friends and followers? Won't you tag 4 or 5 people that you know and ask them to join us once again for the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America as we discuss religion and politics, faith, Jesus Christ, the Word of God, culture, sports, wide range of topics. We have the most intelligent callers in the world, always discussing the items of interest of the particular moment from a biblical standpoint, from a kingdom point of view. So that's what you like to do. That's what you like to be involved in. We invite you to invite someone to join us who you know also shares that same line of view. So glad you could join us once again. Our world famous co-host Reverend Nicholas Smith is here with us today. Want you to join us. Call us in. Talk to us today. 866-743-8267. That's 866-743. 8267. That's 866-74-EVANS, toll free worldwide. Give us a call. Call us from all over the country, the islands, Europe, Asia. We get calls. Paris, France, all over. We get calls from people on the On Point program. And I'm so glad you joined us. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
We got this buzzing going on in our ear today. Yeah, is it you? Is it me? They'll figure it out in a second.
Yeah. I thought it was me.
No. It's in my headset too.
Okay.
And it's getting louder.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things happened this week. A couple of things have been happening over the last few weeks that I've been kind of waiting for the next shoe to drop on them, and they haven't dropped. One of those, of course, was the January 6th Commission. I don't understand how the 6th Commission on something that was internationally viewed, happened on our homeland, happened at the Capitol, people killed, tourists spreading feces on the wall inside it. I'm still trying to figure out how these Republicans are calling that a tour.
Yep.
And how killing people is just part of a peaceful tour, and blaming it on everything, including spaceships from outer space. I'm finally at the point where I now have to say, without any hesitation at all, that the only reason that the Republicans would have rejected a evenly divided commission, not biased like they would have done it. They would have done a 6-4, 7-3 type of thing. They did a 5-5, and it was the plan of the Republican participants in the process. Gave them exactly what they wanted, and now they don't want any parts of it. The only thing left is this. A commission will call you before Congress. You cannot lie, and the truth must be brought out. And they have to be afraid at this point of the linkage between sitting politicians and the protest on the 6th. Okay.
Mitch McConnell got in their ear.
Okay.
A few of them.
Okay.
11 of them didn't show up.
Okay.
But that's my only thought was just him being I almost said something. Him being who he is.
Yeah.
Obstructionist. And then the revelation of how did these people know how, when they went in there, which office to go to.
Absolutely. They had to have help.
You and I both have been to the Capitol.
Yeah,
You've been in parts where I have never
yes.
been. And it's a complex
You
building.
cannot find your way around there without assistance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You had to know what was where. The one congressman said that his real office versus his shadow office, they bypassed his real one.
And went to a shadow.
Went to a shadow one.
Yes.
I mean,
You don't have to be an Einstein to figure this out.
Yeah.
So what they're doing, even though they got the commission that should have satisfied them, is we don't want this investigation. Not because it's a witch hunt, not because it's not political, because the Democrats allowed the politicism to be taken out of it with an evenly divided commission.
Yep.
So now it has to be, we don't want linkages to be discovered
Yep.
with the people that broke in, with the Proud Boys and all those other guys. We don't want that to happen. Well, but I don't know who's at the helm. I would have rather had half the commission on my side.
Yep.
But obviously, the party didn't think they could predict the behavior totally of those on.
Yeah.
Right? So, but now they're going to have a completely Democratic commission or review board or whatever you want to call it. And they're going to do what the Republicans would have done, which is another Benghazi.
Yep.
And just, dog them until they just run out of gas. And I don't blame them. I think President Biden needs to stop playing softball with a group of people that if it was reversed, they would not play softball with
Not
him.
at all. They would go in.
He needs to go ahead and do what he needs to do.
Yep.
If they have the votes, do it. And he also needs to talk to the ones that are trying to make a name for themselves by being contrarians in the Democratic Party. Get them off to the side and say, look, this is how it's going to go for you.
Yeah.
You want to stand for this?
Yeah.
Nothing you want to happen is going to happen. Now you make a choice.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and play that hardball with him, like you said.
He needs to.
Because I think they were like 6 votes shy. I think it was 50. They needed 60 at 54, I think.
But 11 of them went home.
11 of them went home. And did you see the one police officer's mom came up?
Yeah.
And they didn't want to show up? Now, here's my problem. Blue Lives Matter was the big rave with
It didn't
and all of a sudden it doesn't matter now?
It didn't really matter. It didn't really matter.
Come on, man.
It didn't really matter. I mean, the woman said it was a waste of her time to come and talk to them.
Yep.
And she went to offices, and she said it was a waste of time.
But I could see this. If they won't vote to help the 9/11 workers
They're not going to talk to
continue
her.
their health care, they're not
But
going to
the
care
bottom
about
line is that whole Blue Lives Matter thing is political. It is.
is.
They don't really mean
They
it.
don't care.
These guys died, and they're willing to say, we just want to move past it.
Yep.
Well, you didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was just a response to Black Lives Matter. That's all it was.
So there's been 232 mass shootings so far this year, and the Texas governor today decides that
I'll
he's
wrap it
going to
up.
have
Yep.
a no permit carry law. He's going to sign the law. You can just carry a gun in Texas. Now, who is that law for?
Right. it obviously for those who shouldn't have it, but not us.
A no permit?
Yep.
You got to have a permit to drive a car,
Yep.
a permit to build a building. You have to have a permit to put a deck on your house.
Absolutely. Yep. You do. Yep. And
You got to have a permit to go fishing.
but they keep taking that Second Amendment right as too
That has
far.
nothing to do with
Nothing
what
to
they're
do with
doing
this.
right now.
None at all. None at all. That's somebody. I mean, they said it facetiously, but it's true. That's
So
how-
you can go to the gun store and just buy a gun and you don't need a permit
Yeah.
in Texas.
In some places, yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it is. It's going to go back to the OK Corral era time frame. But this is how you know the country's open back up again. All these mass shootings. America's going right back to being America.
The governor of California said something the other day in his address to the nation regarding the shootings in San Jose. He said, what it looks like we're going to do is rinse and spin.
Yep.
And go right back to what we
That's
were doing
all it
before.
is. That is all it is. Wash, rinse, repeat. Keep it moving.
Unbelievable. So Asian hate crime bill gets passed. I've been waiting a couple of weeks for something else to happen. Not trying to be controversial. How did they get a bill passed in a couple of weeks? And we've been waiting how many years to get one done?
Over 400 years. Yeah.
How's that happen?
Yep.
And the Asians that I know are not vocal, not very vocal at all, as these injustices happen to African Americans and
Absolutely.
other races around the nation.
Yep. Yep. We're out
But they start screaming,
Yep.
and we got legislation and so forth.
that quick. And a lot of African
Just from them
supported
being yelled at in their cars.
Yeah.
Not necessarily shot, yelled at.
Yep. Yep. And a lot of African Americans supported this bill. We're not against it. We're for it.
Absolutely.
But when are we? It took the anti-lynching bill was passed a couple years ago. After how long?
Too long.
I mean, come on, like
Too long.
seriously.
Too long.
Yep. And then they say there's no racism for, you know.
It's just, I mean, I've been waiting a couple weeks for these things to kind of, where's the other side of this?
Yeah.
60% of evangelists still believe the election was stolen. Why don't they stop lying?
Yeah. They.
I mean, I've been quiet. I've been nice. I know some of these guys, they just need to stop lying. And some of them are starting to look a little unbalanced to me.
Yeah.
I've gotten communication from some of them. I've had some communication with a few of them. And I think that because I tend to be minded and balanced in my approach to things, that they actually thought that I was someone that was going to see this thing on their side. And I had to get a little terse with a few of them. Because just because I'm not jumping up and down screaming and walking around with my hat on backwards does not mean that I understand the issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're at the Yankees game. I think it was the Yankees game. They laid down this Trump election was stolen thing. I mean, these people are out of their minds. Pastors saying it from the pulpit. I mean, and this is the big anti-vax crowd.
Let's talk about the pastors, since
Sure.
we're not nearly as expert with others,
Yeah.
but we do know
Sure.
this segment of American society. You got a bunch of guys got on a limb. What their position had nothing to, trust me when I tell you, it had nothing to do with Christianity. Everything to do with politics and the underbelly of the racism that exists in the evangelical Christian church in America.
Yep.
And I had explained yesterday to someone that the whole Christian school thing was a reaction to desegregation. That the reason they wanted the Christian schools is because they did not want their children to go to school with other populations.
Yep.
So they got with the government, got the permits that they needed. Once again, permits again.
Yeah.
Got permission to do what they need to do. Laws legislated, you can have your schools.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want the integration.
Yeah. That's true, to keep them out. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, to pay for it. Yeah.
And going a little further, I was in a meeting several years ago with one of our Caucasian staff members when we went over to Philadelphia, downtown Philadelphia, to visit a very prominent church whom our Caucasian staff member thought could give us some wisdom. And we got there. Now, mind you, he's married to a black woman with 2 mixed children. And the individual in the meeting with us says very plainly, without equivocation, we don't mind them coming to the school.
Yeah.
We do not want them in the church.
Yep.
And I said, the meeting's over, let's go.
Absolutely. I know that's right. What's the point of being here?
Let's go. Now, he was embarrassed. What do you think of that? I said, your children would be allowed in school, but not welcomed in the church.
Yep.
Your wife would be allowed in school, but not welcomed in the church.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Yep.
So if there ever had to be any kind of exhibition of this split racially in the church, it's there. And, and the institution of the church I love, the church I love, the work of the church I love. But I am not going to be blind to the things that are wrong in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some things just need to be called out. It's just, I'm sorry. It just
These
happens.
guys need to back up off of this point of view. They're making themselves look worse and worse. But those of us that are kingdom can't be upset when God does a kingdom thing.
Yep. He reveals this.
And right now, the wheat and the tares are very evidently different.
Absolutely.
So we can't be too upset with God for showing us this. We needed to see it.
Yeah, we need, yeah.
But here's the deal. The guys I know aren't backing up.
No. They are fighting tooth and nail.
But it gets the sense that, you know how your child holds on to a lie? And just goes down in flames,
Yeah.
looking crazy, even though They know they lying. You know they're lying.
Yeah.
The walls of the room know they're
Yeah.
lying, but they just stick to it.
Yeah.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. They trust in Trump more than they trust in Jesus. I'm convinced of that.
Absolutely. There's no.
Yeah.
No.
Convinced, yep.
They were convinced that when Mr. Trump went to the White House, and they said it, that
Yep.
Jesus had gone back in the White House. I want to know how they figure Jesus conducts himself like Trump does.
Thank you. Christ-like nowhere. Nowhere. They're looking for him to uphold the church, and which I think, well, we know.
It ain't even a church. It's
Yeah.
protect their money,
Yeah.
protect their right to exclude people.
Yep.
And the fake concern over abortion.
That's what I was about to say. That because I know a lot of conservatives got abortions. I mean, come on.
Doc, how you think their daughters
Yeah.
and their sons are not coming up with kids? And
Yeah.
it ain't because they ain't trying to make them.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Yep.
I know too many of them.
That got them. A lot of those senators that vote against it
Of course.
have gotten them.
Of course.
I'm like, come on, y'all. It's
It makes no sense to me.
yeah.
And what's wrong with South Carolina?
South Carolina is still stuck in Jim Crow segregation.
You gonna give me a choice between the electric chair and the firing squad? Isn't this like 2021?
Yes. Yes.
Aren't we supposed to be past this? I don't even call it antiquated. This prehistoric mindset of killing people.
Yep. Especially by firing squad too. Like, are you like?
They have needles for this stuff.
Thank you.
Why don't you just do the needle? Why do you have to
Yeah.
choose between a chair
Yeah.
and a firing squad?
It's to make a statement. It's that whole law and order, that whole Nixon Trump thing.
Is that Lindsey Graham state?
Yes. Yep. But South Carolina, it feels oppressed when you go in there.
I almost said something.
It feels oppressed. I know.
I almost said something. Sister Graham needs to get together.
Yeah.
She needs to get it together.
And Tim Scott's from there too, the black guy.
Yeah. Tom Scott, is that his name? You need to get. I'm off the rails this morning. I'm tired of these people. Ugh. And what in the world got into the Philadelphia Health Commission?
Yeah.
He ordered the disposal of the moved bombing victims' remains.
Yes. So they didn't tell. Those of you that don't know, if you're from the Philadelphia area, I think it was '85, right?
Yeah.
They bombed that part of
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
They-
But the fight was before that.
That was before. Okay.
Over in Powelton Village. That's where the gun battle was first.
Okay.
And then the second thing was on Pine Street, I believe.
Okay, I don't remember.
At the development, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one you're talking about is the
So, okay,
Pine
so-
Street, where they bombed it
So they got into a fight with the police in another place.
in Powelton Village.
Okay.
34th and Powell.
Okay. And then they came over.
And then one of them moved into this new development over on Pine Street in West Philadelphia, not too far from where I grew up.
Okay.
And that's where the other gun battle started, and that's where they dropped the bomb on the house and all that kind of stuff.
Jeez.
But there was another battle. You can look it up. You're a historian. 34th and
Yeah.
Powelton.
I didn't know about that one. I knew about the bomb.
Powelton Village. It was a major
interesting.
gunfight. Major gunfight, and
Okay.
and Move was ready for the gunfight.
Okay.
I mean, they had piled up dirt inside the house and basements. Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah. Oh
Jeez.
yeah. They had automatic weapons in there. It was not a pretty sight, and Philadelphia, I don't think, handled it correctly.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. Because they took some of the remains and didn't tell the family they had the remains. And the remains were in the University of
Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, yep.
Okay.
For all this time, since '85, all the way up until a few years ago.
Mhm.
And then he just disposed of it and never told the family that they still had them.
I don't know why people understand this kind of thing. Somebody gets disgruntled at work. You fire somebody you shouldn't fire.
Yep.
And then they say, well, I got something to tell you guys.
Yeah.
So a Georgia officer was caught charging blacks with felonies to strip them of their voting rights?
Yeah, because he knew they couldn't vote. So
If they had a record?
They had a record, yeah. So
So he single-handedly thought he was going to impact the next election?
yeah, it was just messing with people, getting them. Yeah, yep.
Wow. We have people on the phone, 866-743-8267.
You want to take a break real quick so they can fix this?
Sure, absolutely. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Angela from Kentucky and Tom from Fort Lauderdale. This is On Point. See you in just a moment.
Say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
So glad you're joining us today. If you've just joined us, this is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Reverend Nicholas Smith, our co-host, Bishop David Evans, your host. We're glad you joined us. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Contemporary conversation from a kingdom point of view. We're going to Angela in Kentucky, then we're going to Tom from Florida. Hey, Angela, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Bishop Evans and Pastor Nick.
You making out all right today?
Things are going pretty well.
Good.
A little cloudy and a little cool here in Kentucky, but Kentucky weather is, it can be cool 1 minute and warm 1 minute and rain and snow. So
I didn't know that.
this is a state where you can have all 4 seasons in one day.
I always think of Kentucky as hot.
Yeah, well, no.
No.
In the summer, it can get kind of warm.
Okay.
So listening to the broadcast today, I really do like the way you guys are so plain and so factual in your assessments about what the country is going through right now. But Bishop Evans, as a prophet, as I know you are, with a real prophetic being, what do you feel like God is doing in this season, and how should we be praying about this season?
Well, number one, he's revealing to us, he's uncovering some things that perhaps we thought had gone away. He also is revealing that we've been on a journey, but we have not traveled very far in several major issues, race relations, the justice system, economic equity, all that. We're going on and on. So he is showing us those things very plainly. For the church, It is a time when the church is being asked to be the church, when it's being asked to be the missionary church that he has already created it to be, when he is asking the church to be his obviously bloodstained church again because our brand has been watered down, when he is asking us to be the church that gets on the move again. Now, what he's also done in that time is he's done a parabolic thing in that he separated the wheat from the tares. He identified who was a Christ-based church and who was a politically based church during his last 4 years. And because he's done that, we now have to readjust our relationships. And also, I think the body of Christ had its confidence in the wrong segment of people.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to say because, once again, I've said it repeatedly, many of the people that we see in the news are associates, some are friends, were friends of mine. And this is not a disagreement over whether you like salt and pepper on your mashed potatoes. This is a fundamental agreement on Christian things like love and those types of principles in the Bible. And that has caused those of us that are serious to change some of the relationships that we had. You know, everybody knows Paula White has been here. Everybody knows Mike Murdoch has been here. You can go down the list of individuals that have been here, especially for our convocations, which are world famous, some of our other meetings, which people love to come here. So, you know, it's caused a change in relationship. It's not only separated the wheat from the tares, but it's caused us to make spiritual decisions about who we're going to fellowship with.
And do you think those areas where we have to kind of renegotiate those relationships and even our views about certain sects of the Christian community, do you think that's going to be an asset for the church or a liability? I
think what happens, and this is the part that's going to really be, the reconciliation, if it happens in the church, is going to have to be led by the people that have been discriminated against. So the offended part, and this is not unusual, Angela, and as soon as I say this, it's just going to say bing in your head now, because I know you're such a smart person. Watch this now. You cannot name too many relational situations where if there is an infraction, the victim has most of the responsibility for the continuation of the relationship. Always the victim is responsible for the reconciliation. If the victim does not agree, let's try again, then it doesn't happen. So the person that's hurt carries a lot of responsibility in these situations. And, you know, I made it very plain. I've experienced this kind of talk. Now, here it is. When I talked about the example that I gave of going to Center City, Philadelphia to this church, very national church, international church, I'm not talking about last year, 2-3 years ago. I'm talking about we had this conversation every bit of how long's Savage been gone?
Well, geez, that was before I came on. It's probably like 2000, somewhere around there.
All right, I'm talking 2000 to 2005.
Yeah.
That they were very plain about the position of people of color in their church in Philadelphia, worldwide established church. So this is nothing new. So when I say we've been on a journey, but we haven't traveled very far, I think that's very, very, very accurate.
So as if for those who feel like the victims in this situation, what do we do?
Well, here's the thing. The Lord, here's the thing. Reconciliation does not include a lack of responsibility and a lack of realism. Reconciliation cannot happen with purely the victims or the offended parties doing all the work. The offended parties have to initiate, but the offending parties have to step up and behave in a different way, and in a way that's not just A&D ointment oriented, but really stitching the wound so it can heal. So the issue for us is going to be is that a lot of my evangelical brothers do not see a need to change, and they're going to hold on to this because they think what they're thinking about is this: we can hold our ground in this lie for another 3 years, and Trump will be reelected and we'll be okay. Mm-hmm. This thing is not about the kingdom of God coming to earth. It is not. Yep. So
we have a lot. We have a lot to pray about. Seriously.
that was my next statement. The offended parties, the people of color, are going to have to go to the Lord in prayer. And I don't want to make a blanket statement. Not every evangelical feels this way. I've got a couple friends that have been very vocal about how wrong this position is in the evangelical community. And I hate that word, because as soul winning people, we should all be evangelical according to the Bible.
Right.
But once again, things have become split. There's worship music and there's gospel music. It's not just music anymore. You know, there's white church and black church and Hispanic church. It's not just all of us being evangelicals, all of us being church, all of us being holiness seeking. So the divisions have come in our even definitions of ourselves based on race. And it's going to be in the hands of God's people, those who have been offended, just like Jesus came down as the offended one to repair the breach in the relationship. Yep. We're going to have to pray, get with people who are reconciliation minded, who may have not participated in this nonsense, and also those who participated out of zeal and found themselves, okay, I was wrong. But you're seeing how hard it is, Angela, for people to admit they were wrong about this thing.
Yeah, yes.
Because I know a couple guys that are prophetic, Hank from Omaha, and a few others that I will go into meetings with every year. And Hank is, they keep shifting the goalposts to legitimize a point of view, and it's not right.
Right.
Yep.
And I know these people. I've shared platforms with these people. Hank and I have shared the platform praying for folk together. So I'm not talking out of school here. I'm talking about what I know. Sorry if I sound aggressive this morning.
No,
they finally gotten on my
sound,
nerves.
Yeah.
You sound passionate, and we have to be passionate, because this is not a time where we can kind of be lukewarm in this situation.
Yeah, it can't be.
But I definitely want to thank you and Pastor Nick for presenting this truth. I mean, I make sure I'm up every Saturday morning.
Appreciate
so
it.
I can hear a balanced truth.
Thank you.
Because we're not getting this from the media.
No, and it's unfortunate.
This is a place where you can come and listen in a safe environment, and I just appreciate that about you guys.
We thank you for that, Angela.
And you keep doing the work of the ministry and keep us informed.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon here.
Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. You can give us a call from anywhere on the planet. We'd love to hear from you this morning. Our Pakistani and Indian audience has picked up dramatically.
Good.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Facebook. We're getting all these likes and things from Pakistan. Mm-hmm. So automatically, according to Facebook's rules, you invite those people to follow you. Mm. So now they're saying they have a problem with me inviting so many people to follow.
You barely put it out.
Sent me a message the other day.
But you barely even say. I mean, it's not like it's every day.
No, I mean click. You know, yeah. if they like, I click. Go ahead, follow, invite. They sent me a message. We don't want you to do that.
Okay.
But they sent me a message not too long ago that saying amen to people was an indirect solicitation of their participation. Hmm? Yes, sir. I sent back on both messages, disagree. I actually reached out to Facebook, said somebody get back to me and tell me how. If we're getting thousands of people saying they're following us or liking us, that we can't invite them to be followers.
You got to show me this. I
Look, do you know those things come up?
Yeah.
This is in violation of our policy, right. so and so.
Right.
Get that. Do you agree or disagree? Disagree.
Okay.
Never hear from them again. But at the same time, I'm watching, say, I don't want to exaggerate, I'm watching, say, maybe 50, 60 people a week say they followed.
Right.
And I'm watching who followed go down. Okay. The same day, 50 people say they. That's mathematically not correct.
I don't. They've been messing with your thing for
a long time. And the people I know at Facebook won't get back to me right now.
Okay.
Because I'm not that controversial, I don't think.
No, you barely you do.
I don't put half the stuff up there I want to.
It's more I pray for you.
Yeah.
You know, God bless you.
Yeah. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Tom, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
You doing all right, man?
Hanging in there.
Good.
Trying to enjoy this weather. But, Bishop, getting back to January 6th, our senators down here on the local news, Marco Rubio and Rick Scott, they couldn't say anything about why they voted no. They kept saying refer back. They were double talking the whole time the locals were interviewing them about January 6th.
Okay.
And that it would be a Democratic plot to, to turn things. But it's all about Trump. And I've had something because, we're in a different world down here in Florida than you guys are in New Jersey.
Okay.
We're not in reality.
Okay.
Our governor this past week tried to introduce legislation that would fine Facebook and Twitter $250,000 a week for executing somebody, for taking somebody off the platform.
That was for Trump, wasn't it?
Like Trump.
What's wrong with that guy?
He's sucking up to Trump like unbelievable. People out of legislation would already go against the First Amendment. Government cannot control what a private company does as far as.
That's right.
But he introduced it anyway to say, I'm still supporting you, buddy.
But he doesn't know that if Trump was going to run again, he wouldn't choose him.
Oh, we all know that.
Now, what is that? What's the word you use? Trump is a little too cunning for that.
I think we all kind of know that. Bishop, I have a prediction. It's going to sound crazy.
Okay.
Only if Trump's in the midterms, if they don't follow Trump, I think Liz Cheney's going to come out of this like a rose.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
I think she's going to be that person that's going to take the party over.
Well, somebody needs to. I don't think they need to start a third one. If they start a third one, they're dead forever.
Yeah, and I mean, she's a thoroughbred from, her father.
Oh yeah.
And the Bushes. She's part of that crew that's kind of silent right now.
Well, but she's also part of that crew that is traditionally the core strength of ideology, policy, and politics. She is part of that. She's part of the. I don't want to call them a legend. She's part of the legacy.
Yeah.
Of the Republican Party. So it's strange. I don't believe. This is what I believe. I believe, Tom, that the reason they're silent is not because they don't have anything to say. I believe they're silent because they're working on some things.
I would agree. I think they're waiting for this to pass.
I don't think they're waiting for it to pass, Tom. I think they're doing what they can do to cause. They don't want to take a swing and not hit the ball out of the park.
Okay.
Because if they wait, the thing you don't want to do, they don't want to make the same mistake that the Democrats are making right now. Democrats are making the mistake of waiting. They're waiting for this new Republican Party to change. They're not going to change.
Yeah.
They're not going to compromise. The old guy that's leading them is not going to change. The girl that's helping him is not going to change. So it's evident to me that the Democrats have to play the same hardball game that the Republicans have been playing with them for the last 12 years.
Yeah, I care about our president, but I think he's really trying to be the good guy when he needs to maybe look the hammer sometime.
Well, you know what I think's happening, and I think that, and Pastor Nick, you help me with this. I think it'll never be able to be said that Biden didn't reach out and try.
He tried.
So when he finally drops the hammer, that's what I think is happening. I think he's giving them time to hang themselves. That's what I think he's doing.
Yeah. Because even Paul Ryan is coming out now. Did you see Paul Ryan?
Yeah, but it's too late.
But you supported Trump to get what you wanted.
It's too late. It's too late for him.
Yeah.
I was offended to see him on the screen.
Yeah, I'm like, you let him take over your party. Now you're mad. You created this monster, and now you can't.
He helped him.
You helped him.
And then he ran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, and got out of Dodge.
I mean, a lot of these guys, the minority leader, he on January 6th, he was very much against Trump, and now he's, kissing the ring. You know,
He's such a underling. I don't know what to call it. He's such an underling.
And we had the crazy lady, Taylor Green, first name
Marjorie Taylor
Marjorie
Greene.
Taylor
She
Greene.
is
Here's my problem, Tom.
man.
If a Democratic leader was spouting the things that she's spouting, if a Democratic leader was following other politicians around the Capitol, casting aspersions, talking about the Holocaust in ways that should not have been talked about. If a Democratic leader was that, the Republican Party would be on the roof of the Capitol protesting.
Yep.
It took the minority leader about a week to actually, McCarthy took him to rebut her and say it was wrong. It took him almost a week to come to that conclusion.
Too long.
He finally did. So it took Thursday, he came out and said it.
Too long.
But
had to find out from somebody else if he could say anything.
Yeah. I never thought about it that way.
Had to find out from somebody else if he could say anything, man. You know, he maybe had to call Florida and find out, is it okay if I criticize him?
You know what? That's not far-fetched either.
This is ridiculous, man. I've only been alive 69 years, but I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you know what? Even though we got some crazies down here in Florida, you guys love the weather. You took me to shoot down here.
Man, I'm not coming to Florida for a while, cause y'all out of control.
Out of control. And y'all was out of control before COVID. There was always something going down there in Florida.
Oh yeah, but now, man, how long does your governor have to be in office?
He can get 2 terms. I think he's like I think it's a.
This is his first term?
Yeah.
First term.
Yeah.
You guys better not reelect him.
You know, the way things are going, I don't think it's going to happen. He just comes out with too much craziness. But like it's 2 different states. You get above Palm Beach, you got real Republicans. You get down here, southern part of the state, other than the Cubans.
Okay.
And you know what though? I got to say, Trump played them perfectly.
Oh, the Cuban community?
I saw commercials that you guys would have seen.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
They got him.
Unbelievable.
And the Democrats did not come back with anything. I would sit there and go, why are they letting these things being said? Because that's the reason he won South in Florida, because the Cuban vote went for him.
Of course.
And I understand why. They were like, you're going to be voting for Castro, basically what they were saying about Biden.
But
so,
and then they didn't come back with anything on it. They didn't rebut it. In a way they should. I remember when who was running for president? Mrs. Clinton. And I went to a meeting with Mrs. Clinton and several other leaders from around the country. We're in Philadelphia, down at Mother Bethel AME Church. So we met there. And I said to them very plainly, why aren't you doing more in New Jersey? And she said, we don't consider, her people said they don't consider consider Jersey a battleground state. And I said, well, I need you to help me with your definition of what battleground is. I said, because we are supposed to be a democratic state and we've had a Republican governor for the past 2 terms. So which part of battleground don't I understand? Of course, the room was silent. I don't know, it's almost like they make these assumptions, and ignore what people on the ground are telling them. And sometimes I wonder if their campaign crews, I shouldn't call them crews, when they campaign, the campaigns are ignoring or not doing the work that needs to be done. And to cover that lack of work, and I know that happened in our state, they just say, well, we don't have to worry about that.
The Clinton campaign ran a horrible.
It was.
I mean, they were running like they had in the bag. And people like Pennsylvania, it's Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Alabama in the middle.
Okay.
And and when you think about it, I mean, right? She was campaigning in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Trump was in Scranton, Harrisburg, Lancaster, all those places in between. And that's how he won the stage.
Sure.
Which is more of PA.
What I don't understand is, were the Clintons so full of themselves that they thought the election was in the bag?
Mm-hmm.
Did their winning history cause them to be deaf to the new sound of the contemporary voter?
Yep.
Okay.
They weren't listening to that crowd, the West Virginia crowd, the Trump crowd was the crowd Trump was talking to.
Yeah.
She didn't say nothing to them really.
Well, she should have.
Yep.
Even here in Florida, when she was running, I think they realized in the last week or two, how bad it was in Florida, and she blitzed the state. I actually got a chance to meet her because I was church.
It was too late then, wasn't it?
She was coming through everywhere the last week, but it was too late.
It was too late.
Yeah.
So I've met her. She's an intelligent woman, but if they had, and we said this on this program a long time ago, and people may not remember, if she had become President Obama's vice president, she would have won the presidential election after President Obama went out of office, because the people would have been used to her, gotten used to the fact she was there, seen the kind of work she could do, blah, 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 blah. But ego kept her from being his vice president. They could have had the White House for 16 years, but ego kept her from being his vice president.
And going back to when I first started calling the show, we joked about who was going to run for president and vice. But during that time frame, we thought she was going to be on the head of the ticket and him secondary. Nobody thought it was going to be the other way around. I think that's where her ego really got bruised.
Now we've been broadcasting how many years, Pastor Nick?
Oh, you've been doing this for a minute. Back when Pastor Horner, it was like way back.
Okay, so
We joked about
that's
it.
like 20 years.
20
now?
years, yeah.
Okay, and how long you been calling this, Tom?
I'm going to say 2006.
Wow. Thank you for being with us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been off and on, but I really, back in those days, you and Nito, back,
Oh yeah. Emmanuel Nito.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Mito and I and Pastor
Horner was before
Kyle
him.
Horner was
Yep.
before him, and
Yeah, then you ran solo for a little bit.
yeah, man.
He
Then I
was-
ran alone, and then the Lord raised up Pastor Nick, and I'm in good hands now.
all right.
Talk to you, Doc.
Hey, you guys take care.
Bye bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We talk about faith. We talk about Jesus. We talk about the Bible. We talk about culture. We talk about religion. We talk about politics. And we also love sports. So we're a real versatile group. You can get in on the conversation, but always from a kingdom perspective. And if you've noticed, our callers are always courteous, not shy about what they believe, but absolutely some of the most intelligent callers in the world. Give us toll-free from around the world, any smart device. Why don't you tag a few people, let them know we're on, invite some people to the conversation. And we're family friendly, so you don't hear us, cussing and fussing and telling people to go here and go there.
Yeah.
All right, so you can give us a call. And if those are watching us, we live from our sanctuary, the balcony of our sanctuary.
Yeah.
What you see behind you is our worship space. We hope that you'll visit us online. And then when we're open, we hope you'll come and see us. Those people in our Connections Church, welcome worldwide to On Point. We're so glad you joined us. Now, today we're canceled because of the rain. It's raining here
It's
like
cold
crazy,
too,
you all,
man.
and it's cold, which is bad for the old man's voice and the young man's voice.
Yeah.
And it's raining outside, so we can't have our outdoor service today. Although some of our people would have tried to see if they could come. We're not having it today. But that means you can join us tomorrow, 8 a.m., engage live from 9:45 to 10:45, and then 11 a.m. we're back with the Encounter worship service again, and then 10 times better at 6 p.m. in the afternoon. And we always want your prayer requests. Send in your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com, social@gotobethany.com. You can subscribe to us at David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. You want to check out the DGEMS blog, DGEMS blog, and the On Point podcast as well. So, Pastor Nick, COVID. I've had some calls this week from people around the country asking me what I thought of the not coincidental lifting of restrictions in time for the summer money to be made.
and everything completely open. Mask, none, full capacity, everything. Yeah, I'm sitting this one out.
Me too, Doc.
I'm sitting this one out.
Yeah, Doc. I'm like, I had to reinforce to a couple people yesterday. I don't care what Walmart says. Wear your mask when you go in there.
Yep. I don't understand the lack of err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
To me, I think living by fear and living cautious are two different things.
That's
to
two
me.
different things.
I mean, to me it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Wise people are considered having fear now.
yeah. Rather than just let's wait for a minute.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, is it that difficult to make a decision between your long-term health and the health of your loved ones and some immediate gratification? Is it? I mean, I've had to limit myself from certain people who are obviously taking risks. I'm not going to be in a circle where you're not trying to at least govern who's around you.
Absolutely. I mean, and you don't know who's not vaccinated. People are buying fake vaccination cards.
It's crazy.
I mean, some churches are completely open, and I still hold to. I'm glad you still made the decision. Let's wait through the summer.
No, we're gonna get through the summer, Doc, because I think this is a mistake.
Yeah, because we don't know how it's going to look.
We don't know how it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, and one church, big guy, I think he's using the anti-COVID vaccine to build his crowd.
Of course.
Somebody in his church just died of COVID, but he's still sticking to his guns. Don't get the vaccine. It's not that real.
Because it's not important to him.
He doesn't care
about the people.
Yep.
He passes numbers. I don't pass the numbers. We don't pass the numbers. We pass the people.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I have to make decisions. We have to make decisions that are on the side of preserving the people, not some kind of, because I don't have enough going on in my life, I've got to decide you're not going to make me do this.
Yeah.
How is a mask a sign of liberty?
Yeah.
How is me protecting myself and people around me, my immediate family and those in the community, from a virus a problem?
Yeah.
When the simplest proof is out there among us.
Yep.
You have heard almost nothing about the flu. Why? Because of masks, hand washing, and sanitizing. You have not even heard of too many people catching colds this year. Why? Masks, social distancing, hand cleansing, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get a flu shot every year, don't know what they have in it. Catch the flu every year.
Yep.
It's stupid.
It is. And it's not taking away your liberty. It's not.
If putting on a mask is taking away your liberty, then you don't have any.
Right, exactly. I know.
Next, they'll be saying we shouldn't have to have licenses to drive cars, shouldn't have to have an owner's card. I mean, it's just stupid.
It is.
Come on.
It is. And again, it shouldn't take for your life to be threatened, somebody around you be threatened, to start taking it somewhat seriously.
But then you got a bunch of people like the leader you were talking about, who actually had people die in his church, and still saying there's nothing to this whole thing.
It's not that big of a deal.
So what they've done is rendered that individual insignificant for a political point of view.
Absolutely.
And he's supposed to be a shepherd of God's people. That doesn't work for me.
Not at all.
Okay.
And if you preach more about COVID every Sunday, I doubt you're a pastor anyway. I'm just saying, if your message is America, anti-COVID,
you're not in the heart.
Not at all.
No.
You want a crowd. You don't want a congregation. You don't want people.
And you want a certain crowd.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. I don't care what the governor says. I went to get some medical information yesterday. On the building, cannot come in here without a mask.
Yep.
On this building, you can't come in here without a mask.
Yep.
I had to have a conversation with some people last week. Listen to me. In here, we're going to wear them.
Yep. Send some out to the leaders. Emailed everybody. Tell your folks.
We got to wear them.
The governor says whatever. In here,
I don't care what the governor says.
Eating in the Harvest Hall.
Look.
Eat in your car.
That's right.
If you want to eat, just.
This is it. We got people to protect, and we're going to protect them. And I don't want somebody walking up to me talking about, I didn't think. Well, you don't have to think because you're not responsible.
Absolutely.
We're responsible, and this is what we're going to do.
There you go. Because you don't have to pay for it if something happens.
No, they don't.
Like,
We're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Thank y'all for joining us today. Oh, this was the rant episode. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 8, 9:45, and 11 and 6. All day long, stay with us. It's been a pleasure being with you this morning. For Pastor Nick, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on OnPointe.